Hello and welcome to Kinetic Builds. We're back with another episode of Foundry, and I've done just a couple small minor things off camera here. We added one more research center. We're going to add two more. Let me do that real quick. We were in the process of doing that right before we started the episode here. And the main reason for that is as we're getting further down the tech tree here, things are taking just a little bit longer to complete, so I figured, why not? We'll get a couple more going. We've got the power infrastructure for it right now, at least. And as you can see, we're also belting in our red science, our science pack 2s. I just tossed in some outputs, and we just ran the belt over there, because why not? I was tired of trying to replace these, and we're keeping that research moving, so I'm going to keep our pattern going here and get another set of these intakes hooked up, just like so. All right, so we just finished a set of research. Let's see what we've got left to do here. We got a lot of miscellaneous research to do. I think the next thing I want to do is try out these assembler 2s. They're going to take more power but go faster. But actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and get this character crafting speed. I'm still making some things in my inventory from time to time, and this will be a nice one to unlock. And hopefully this goes pretty quick, 1%. Not as quick as I'd like, but we'll be keeping up, and I'm pretty sure I can keep up with the science production, mostly because we had so many pre-made here. We're burning down that stack. We're still at 34 science pack 2s there, and I can't even read it here because we've fallen off yet again. I've got a bunch of these blocks made up though, so I'm gonna start to expand this a little bit. Now that I've got all these intakes on the side, it's made it just a little bit more difficult to work around the area here. I need to have at least some kind of a walking path for myself to get through. There we go. And I have also, extended the path over here. We've made it all the same height and just added another smelter here. We didn't really need that many more rods, but this gives me a little bit more ability to come and grab a few of these for our crafting components. At some point, we'll probably need to just break down and automate some of the stuff that these are making. However, we haven't run into a recipe that actually needs them. It's mostly buildings and stuff. If I just pop this open, we haven't really uncovered anything new in the core crafting area that needs any of these new materials. We do have some doors and some railings, so I thought now would be a great time to kind of play around with some of this stuff. So I'm going to craft a few of these railings. I'm going to craft a few of these doors, and we're just going to see kind of what that looks like. As we've discussed many times here, I keep falling off, so I'm going to see what it takes to put some railings down along this side just to see how that works out for me. I think it's going to help me out quite a bit though, and I'm going to need to make a ton of them, so we're just going to get click happy here. There we go. That, in theory, should help me out quite a bit. I'm going to put the railings all the way down here to where the 2-level drop-off is, so that if I do fall off, it's somewhere that I can get right back up. I'm liking that a lot more. And then for the door, I was kind of curious to test this out. I don't have anywhere that I absolutely need to put a door, but if I did, let's just pretend it was right here. And then if I was building walls, can I build a wall up? Drag mode horizontal, drag mode vertical. Ooh, nice. Now, I don't know if I've got stairs. Let's go. That was a research thing, actually, that I said, we'll never need stairs. Well, now I kind of want stairs so we can have our giant door be useful for something. So as soon as this research gets done, we will maybe do that. That should be an easy tech level 1 item. And while that's going, let me just see if I can drag this out. I'm like, why isn't it dragging? So that's what a wall would look like. And then I guess I have to actually use the door handle. That's kind of cool. What's this do? Toggle auto open. All right. Closed. Open. I like it. That's kind of cool. Gives us a little bit of style here. I don't know if we're gonna end up building a base like that or not, but it does give me the option if I want to go up to a second story. We could definitely do that. If we come over here and check on our miners, because it has been a minute since we set all of this stuff up, you can see we're starting to really get down in here. I think we're getting to the bottom of this node, which means at some point we're gonna have to find a new place with which to pull that resource from. And more importantly, I'm kind of worried about the resource over here that's fueling our entire base, because this was a much smaller node. We've still got at least one more layer deep, so I'm not overly concerned yet, but that's the resource to keep our eye on for sure. And then over here, we haven't mined nearly as much of the item that's making our rods, so I'm not concerned about that one yet at all. However, this is a procedurally generated map, and in theory, I think it goes on forever, where we could just keep exploring and searching for more resources and going further and further out to collect those resources. I've got this mineral rock that we've uncovered with one of our recent upgrades. I think it's going to be used in concrete, and my understanding is concrete lets me run faster when I'm moving around on it, so we might have to go out and try that here shortly. But in the shortest term, let's see about building the stairs. This should unlock rather quickly. And I've just remembered what it is we wanted to do in this episode from last time, which is we need to start refining the xenoferrite and the technium ore into their better counterparts here. So we're going to go ahead and get that process started. And it's going to be convenient because I do have all of my ore coming straight into the smelters here. And so all I've got to do is run this through a crusher beforehand. So I'm going to start with 3 of these. I don't know how the crushing mechanics are going to work, but I'm going to go ahead and just start with those. And then we're going to have to rework this a little bit, which isn't a problem because this will give me the opportunity to move these to a more convenient spot. So let me grab both of these drone miners, and I'm going to go ahead and just take the whole section here. And then if I bring this up, we're going to be doing xenoferrite ore, and it's going to be a straight 40 to 40 conversion rate, which is great. So I'll set those up, and my goal is to have this kind of work the same way as we just were. So I'm going to have it export onto the back here. And that'll come right in here into our smelters, just like it was doing before. So these are all 3 going to be the outputs. And then I'm going to rework the drone mining setup just a little bit. I'm going to pull this back a smidge. So as long as, see, I don't think it's actually hurting me any to pull this back. I'm going to pull it back to here. And I suppose I'm going to have to support this. I should have just done it before I placed them, but that's all right. We'll get the platforms under there so that they get full power. And then here we're going to go ahead and pipe all of that ore right out of the machines. Not going in that side, but rather I'm going to bring this down this way. And then I get all 3 of these running on the ore, and that's going to give me, well, it's going to convert it from, what is it even called? The ore rubble to straight ore. And then once I've got the ore, these machines should start producing plates at a much higher rate, which will keep all of this running a little bit more efficiently as far as I can tell. So I guess it waits to be seen whether or not we start getting ore into these. Like here I've still got rubble. I've got ore's gotten to this machine, but hasn't even gotten to this machine yet. Or this machine. So we are going to need a little bit more to keep up with all of this. If I look at these, we've got not much. Our miners are keeping up down there, but not here. So I'm going to need at least one more of these machines to turn it into ore to keep things moving, which is unfortunate because it's going to mess with my pretty lines. This is one of those situations where we're starting to run out of space. What I should have done is had that line go off this way. So let me do that real quick. I'm going to need that to be at least 5 wide. Let me see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. I'll see if I can use this bulk disassembler without having problems. Alright, let's do this now. This should make life so much easier. We're going to run those down. And I'm going to grab the machines here. We're going to leave one space. I'm going to start it here. Oh, I'm falling off the platform. We'll start with the 4 of them. And just get these going. I could really use blueprints right around now, to be honest. And then the good materials come back down this way. I need to set these up, so I'm going to configure this for the ore. And then I'm going to use my tablet, and I'm going to push Q to copy. Not enough crusher 1 in inventory. Shift right mouse button to copy. And then if I come over here, I can do shift left mouse button to paste. All right. We've got it all sorted out here, folks. And now I've got all of these smelters kind of piled up here. Again, this is another one of those lines that's in an awkward spot. So I think what I'm going to do with this is maybe run the smelters out here in the same way and just have them pull right off of this same line. That way we're not having to deal with how cramped our base is getting over here. We're going to start making, I would say, a more normal production line that we can continue to expand as we need to. So let me just grab all of these machines. And then much like this other side, I'm going to need enough room to put the grabbers. This is going to be my input side. I'm going to make one more of the crushers just to make sure I can feed this one in too. All right, that looks good. That looks good. All of these machines are going now. And these are taking it in at 20 and putting it out at 30, where each of these machines is taking it out at 40 and giving it out at 40. So for every one of these, I could have 2 of these. That's going to be a problem here shortly, but not really. So instead of having this go this way, we've messed up and we need to have this go the other way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click once here, I'm going to run all the way over here. And have all of this go away. Oh, it makes me so sad. All right. And then these machines are going to feed this way now. And what this is going to allow me to do is have the very first machine be an output. It's going to output here. And then I'm going to constantly be feeding more into this belt that I'm taking out. So then I can just keep making more machines down the way here. This isn't ideal. I should be spacing out my other machines here, but it is what it is. We're not running into belt capacity problems just yet. I'd have to get quite a few of these before we really had to worry about it. And then over on this side, we can now hook up our outputs, which I'll do. And this material I do want to bring back in towards the main bus. Something like that. All right, and this is my plates. So the plates are going to come straight over here. And feed the bus. There we go. Now the rest of our base has kind of gotten behind while we've been doing this, but this is going to be a little bit more expandable. It's not really a balanced solution, but for the amount of content that's in the demo here, I think it's going to be more than enough. And while that's all going, let's open this up. I did the stairs research. I'm going to get this assembler 2 going because I think that's what's going to allow us to keep up with the science pack production a little bit easier. Not that science pack production appears to be our bottleneck in any way right now. In fact, I think it's going to be more that we've stripped down the number of iron plates that we're making. So let me just remedy that problem by expanding this yet again. And while I don't need any more of those, I am going to put down the rest of these smelters that I have in my inventory. And this is the main bus, so it's going the opposite direction. This is our ores coming out to meet us. And these are inputs into the smelters, which I just made outputs, my bad. All right, let's try this again. Inputs, inputs, inputs. Perfect. So now for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these that we've got, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could take 2 more smelters. Do I have the stuff to do 2 more of these? I do. Well, let's go ahead and make that a perfect amount. There we go. All right, I've got all of those materials now working their way through. At some point here, we're probably going to need to expand some things, but for now, this should work. And yeah, we might need to get a faster belt here because this belt is saturated, which means that we're not able to put these plates down on the belt. We're making more plates than we can get out to the rest of the factory, and the rest of the factory needs those belts. So let me see. I do have conveyor 2 here, which is a conveyor 1, machinery parts and electronic components. That's pretty good. So maybe I'll make some of these, and we'll see how far these get us. I'm gonna shift a few of these things around here. And we're gonna put conveyor 2 right down there. assembler 2 has been found. Can I upgrade in place? Okay, click to replace complete conveyor line. Missing 23 belts. We'll upgrade as much as possible without creating gaps. Well, let me do that from back here. Okay, I get all the way to there. We're gonna create some more, folks. Alright, so I'm getting them all the way to the splitter, but the splitter I don't think is gonna be fast enough to actually do anything here. Do we have a splitter 2? We do have a conveyor balancer 2. Let's see what that takes to make. Right there. We can make a couple of those. I'm gonna just drag these back to give me some room to plop that down here for me. We're still making some more conveyor 2s as well. And while that's all going, we can't forget the research, which is what we're trying to get after here anyway. I've got a double door, walkways, lights. We haven't even played with the first level of lights yet. Let's get some more of this stuff unlocked. I don't know what piping is going to do, but that sounds worth researching. We've got a whole nother set of power generation to work on over here too, so I want to get that all plugged in and figured out before we get too far along here. But as you can see, we have officially gotten this all upgraded, and it is awesome. Put this conveyor balancer 2 in here now, and as you can see, it's able to fill up both sides pretty quickly there. We're keeping up with 2 tier 1 belts on the other side of a conveyor 2. Where a conveyor 1 was 160 items a minute, conveyor 2 is 320, so this works perfect to bring my materials in and then split evenly between 2 tier 1 conveyors. We've now got all of the materials we could need from this. We're going to town. We've got all kinds of iron stuff being created. I'm kind of curious if this is always the rubbles. It does look like that is the case. And I've got 2 stacks of 200 steel over there each. I'm just going to grab me these 2 stacks, though, to have on me. If we start needing it for something, I just want to have it in my inventory to seed whatever we're doing. The rest of this is all good to go. We are starting to burn through some of these tier 2 science packs, though. I think it's working out well, given how long it takes me to remember to go do research, though. Well, with a lot of that out of the way, well, let's get back to what we were working on before, which is stairs. I've got a few things in my bar here, actually, that don't make sense to me. I'm going to get rid of those 2 items. I'm going to use this as our cosmetics bar, I guess. I have the dirt down here that we were using before. I'm going to put the stairs, the railing, and the door all down here. And then let's go out the door and see what these stairs actually look like. They look like some pretty basic stairs. Well, we might as well expand this ever so slightly so that we can run up here more easily. If for whatever reason we feel like going in this very fake entrance to our base. There we go. All right, well, we have a door. A door into a wide open base. It is what it is. So with all of the xenoferrite in an upgraded mode, I realized that we need to come over here and upgrade our other side of the factory. Now, we aren't in as dire of a need to do that because we're not using as many of these rods right now. However, it just strikes me that we may want to conserve as much of our resources as possible, and doing it more efficiently means we'll have access to it when we do need it later on. So let me go ahead and we're just gonna figure out how to do this right quick. If I grab this square here and then take it over like so, we can get rid of all of that in one fell swoop. And then similar to what we did on the other side, I'm gonna pull not enough space in my inventory. I finally hit the inventory limit. Oh wow, we did. Oh, it's because I've got all this ore in my inventory. Let me go dump this ore, and we'll get this laid out. All right, that's a lot better. We've gotten rid of most of the raw materials we've got in our inventory, and it looks like our research has just finished for the pipes. Awesome. I'm going to come in here. Let's just take a look at some of these. I guess since we did just run into the inventory space thing, we'll go ahead and start that one up next. Seems reasonable, right? And we're going to come on back to where we were at and get our production line going. Now, like I was about to say, I'm going to move the miner back a smidge like I have on the other setups to give me room. Oh, this one's not working quite the same. I was going to say to give me some room to run the mining equipment, but maybe I'll turn it this way. This way? We'll turn it this way and do that. I'm going to have one mining setup go like so, and we are going to actually just build a second one to have it here and ready to go. I'm just seeing that assembler 2 in my inventory too, realizing that we were going to do something with that this episode as well. My goodness, there's all kinds of stuff to do. Okay, so if I want this to go, I need 3 spots in between. I'm going to move this back one. Like so. Perfect. Now we're getting our ores out. Everybody looks happy over here. And I need some crushers. I've got 2 crushers in my inventory, and this should be enough to keep 4 of these smelters busy. Now, given the layout of this, I think it's going to be easiest if I put the crushers over here on one side and the smelters on the other, just like we did with the xenoferrite. So let me just clean out a section of the hillside here so I can have my base be all nice and flat. And I'll leave a couple of spaces between the miners there, so I've got a little bit of a walking path. And I think what we'll do is we'll use the second lane deals to output it for the other side here, just because I am laying this out a little bit different than the other side. And then I'm going to have that material come here. I don't know exactly yet how this is going to work out, so I'm going to get rid of some of these blocks just to get them out of my way. And then we're going to run our 4 smelters right here. I need this to start right there. 2, 3, 4. I've done something wrong. Oh, I always forget the space. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third time's the charm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're looking good. Get this in right here. Like so. These is gonna take in this recipe, same recipe, and these should just automatically start picking that up and doing something with it when the time comes. Oh, it helps if they have the appropriate type. All right, now we've got input on all of those, and we're making rods. Look at that, it's like magic. Now this has moved where my assembly line is a little bit, which is a little unfortunate, but that's part of the game. We're going to go ahead and clear a line out here so that I can get our assembly line brought up onto this platform. And I'm running out of building blocks here. I'm gonna run back up to the base and grab a stack. The nice thing about having these materials get built... Oh, we're actually using them all now. What do you know? I wonder if that's from my... Oh, it's from my shortage of bars coming up to the base. Oh, no. That's fine. I can make some. I just need to grab these. And we'll be all set. Oh, and we're done on research again. Let me come over here and see what we've got next. Let's do some of these easy ones up here, like a ladder. That sounds nice and quick. Only uses some tier 1s, so we'll get these tier 1 researches done just because. We've got the materials for it. Let's start exporting these materials. You know, I've really got to learn... Oh, I did put them on export. I was going to say, I really got to learn to default those to what I want to make. And that for once we did. And then here we're going to... Oops, I need to go up. I need to go up again. And I think we can just cut across now. Like so. There we go. Pipes are back in action. It's a little bit of a weird setup here, but we're using the space we've got. I'm just gonna drill this out a couple more blocks so that I can have better access to what we're doing. It's getting dark again. But yeah, we've got plenty of these pipes coming out now. We've got 30, 60, 120 coming out. We should be just keeping up with these two, which we are, and I suspect that these two miners are more than capable of keeping up with this, but the reason that I did it this way is that I want to be able to expand this when the time comes, and I think we've definitely hit that point where we've got plenty of materials and we will be able to expand when we need to. This is now cooking again. We're not getting as many as I'd like. We've got 48 per minute getting used up here. What else are we using these for? I can't remember. Over here we've got 16 and 16, so that's 32 and 48. We're not using enough to bother with upgrading that line to a tier 2 yet. So in theory, this should start to catch up. We're making 120 a minute, and we're only using 24 a minute on each of these sides. We'll definitely be catching up here as soon as this thing gets cooking. So that brings me to the last big upgrade that I think we've been talking about for a few times here, which is these assembler 2s. So I'm going to go ahead and make 4 of these, and I think it's time to get rid of the building platforms on this building bar. We're still using most of these on a regular basis, so I'm going to leave all the buildings in here, and we're going to come to the assembler 2s, and I'd really like to see us start cranking out these science packs a little bit faster. So I'm gonna click to replace targeted building, left alt to disable building replacement mode. No, I definitely want to replace, so click and click. There we go. So now, in theory, we're making them a little bit faster. Oh yeah, we're making 3 per minute now instead of 2 per minute. Well, that's pretty slick. And this thing is, starting to catch up, even though we've got the Science Pack 2s, maybe? I think we're about holding our own. 120 a minute. 36, 36. Oh, we should definitely be catching up eventually here. I like it. So there you have it. We've got our Tech 2 assemblers going, creating those science packs that much faster. We're not actively researching anything here. We should definitely stay on top of this a little bit better. Like I said, I'm going to keep going through these tier 1s, and we've got a much more efficient mining operation going here. We're using our resources to the fullest, and I feel pretty good about where we're at. Next episode, I think we're going to finish off some of these tech trees. We're going to get into the high voltage energy grid, see what this is all about. These boilers and steam turbines seem like a great way to create more power. Power lines and power poles should be fun. We've got mining efficiency. We've got all the things that are going to go along with this, pumps and stuff. Tanks to hold liquid. It's going to be fun. And then maybe we'll also get into concrete production and start building a better base. And that's going to be most of the technologies that are available to us here. All the rest of this is pretty aesthetic. I guess we haven't used any of the logistics containers just yet, but we'll kind of keep pushing on this and check out the new power generation next episode. Hopefully you're enjoying this playthrough of Foundry, the demo. And if you are, go ahead and wishlist this on Steam. The developers will greatly appreciate it. And on my end, if you've enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. I'm gonna have to figure out why our power stopped here at some point. However, that's all for today. Keterk out. This little biofuel burner finally ran out of power over here. That explains it.